Hey everybody, welcome to the Sacred Comedy Podcast. I'm your host, Jennifer Way, and today's show is very special, as all the shows are very special. I've got two guests today. We have, again, returning Elise Edwards, and we also have Devon Hall.
Hey.
Woo! So I would love for you to just introduce yourself, tell us who you are and what you do.
Okay. I'm Devon. I'm nuttin'. I'll never be nuttin'. No, I'm a comic. I live in Jersey City. We've been friends for like a year at this point, like ish.
Yeah.
Like I had started helping you out with the sacred comedy stuff, and then we made like a couple of sketches, and now I'm doing this. This is cool.
Yeah.
I'm a comic. I don't know. I occasionally post things on social media that nobody watches, doing stuff like that.
I watch it. Yay.
Yay.
And you.
And I'm Elise Edwards, aka Elise Anamkara. I am the founder of Anamkara Astrology. I'm also the founder of Discount Disco. So I'm a comic, a DJ, an astrologer, a reformed actor, and just a citizen of
just
the
a really awesome
world.
person.
Thank you.
And you need to just know that.
Thank you. Thanks for having me back on Sacred Comedy.
Yay. All right. So for today's episode, we're going to do a reading, an astrology reading for Devon. And let's jump right in.
Because I have astism.
You have an astism?
No, I don't know.
Is that on his chart?
Fantastic. A little bit. Yeah. I will say that there is certainly, I got whiplash when I was first looking at your chart because I was like, this is active and aggravating. Like I was having over processing issues myself while reading your chart. So I can only imagine what it would be like being this person.
Yeah, living hell.
Yeah, I can literally only imagine. So the sun was in Taurus at the time of your birth, right? You have a May birthday.
I believe Taurus. Yeah.
Sun in Taurus, Libra ascendant, Sag moon. So
what does that like mean?
what does it mean? So the sun is your overall life force energy. It is the frequency that you are bringing into this orchestra of the physical universe. Okay. Does that make sense? Like
Kinda.
that's just like the frequency that you're giving off and you're here to embody. The fact that you have a moon sign, which is like your emotional or inner processing, your inner needs and nurturing, and essentially what ends up being the emotional or psychological motivation behind everything that you do is in Sagittarius, which is a very different sign.
So is it like conscious is sun, subconscious is moon?
In a way, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Your subconscious needs, that's a good way of putting it. And then, the conscious self, the conscious, what we call ego identity. And we're not saying ego in a bad thing. We're talking ego as...
Right. In my case, a bad thing, but I get what you're saying.
Well, it's here and there. Maybe that's your Libra ascendant being like, oh, ego's a bad thing. I'm cooperative. I want to see the world and I want to be seen as a cooperative, whatever individual. But you're actually quite more... you have a lot more individual self and opinions.
Wait, I'm sorry. So what is rising?
Your rising sign is the sign that was rising at the time of your birth.
That sounds a little bit like you answered my definition with the definition.
It is. I was kind of giving like the technical definition, but essentially, well, I come from a karmic astrology background, so.
I'm leaving.
Okay.
We can't do this anymore.
A karmic background?
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. I
Karmic
was pretending to
astrology.
be offended by that. I don't know what that is.
It's okay. So essentially, it's the sign that was rising on the horizon at the time of your birth. So it's kind of your
Rising means going up.
outward personality.
Thanks.
It's the way it's the lens through which you see the world and through which the world sees you. That's why when you go online and you type in what's a rising sign, what's ascendant, and people are like, it's the mask you wear until people get to know you better. And then your sun sign comes out and then your moon sign personality comes out.
Okay.
That's not really exactly how it is. To me, it's the lens through which you see the world and through which the world sees you. And from a karmic astrology background, it's because that's where the sun was the very last time you were here on this planet. So the very last time you had an Earth incarnation, you were a Libra. You learned how to embody and experience the world through Libra, which is the sign of partnership, of cooperation, of fairness. And
was I a human or was I like a really like Libra bear?
you know what? I I'm going to assume it was human, but don't quote me on that.
Word.
I'm not the dictator of the capital T truth.
was
I'm just
chipmunk,
I'm just
actually?
here. I'm just a
tap
map
into it?
reader.
You getting chipmunk?
Wait. Sorry. So I never heard that before. Ascendant is. Say that again.
Can I try? Can we see if I was listening? I believe what she said was ascendant is when it's ascending. No, I'm kidding. She's saying that ascendant is the sun side of my past life. So the last time I was on Earth, I was a
never knew
sun
that.
Libra.
Of your most recent incarnation.
recent.
It's very important to know that it's
Okay.
the most recent incarnation. So that's why the sign, the characteristics of the ascendant or rising sign are kind of your standard mode of operation when
Okay.
you're assessing the battlefield. I came here, last time I was here, I was a Libra. So I'm going to just approach whatever I'm doing as a Libra and see how it goes, even if I'm actually a Taurus moon with a Taurus sun with a Sagittarius moon.
Okay.
And so then instead of people saying the mask falls away, it's really more like, oh, you change, the operations change, right? And you get to see the working parts more.
Oh.
So it's kind of like Windows 7, I was a Libra. Now Windows 8, I'm a Taurus.
I don't remember.
Or now I've
been
analogied it into something wrong.
I think I'm just saying that I don't have enough context. I haven't used a Windows machine in a while.
I'm sorry.
But what I can say is that Taurus Sun, okay, having a Libra ascendant, I'm going to try to make this in terms of operating system analogies. Okay.
Let's go with it.
So Taurus Sun, is here to be the embodiment and have like tangible results. Okay. And to turn valuables into tangible, buildable like results, like actually having all the stuff that your hard work has paid off for, as like you'll have physical, tangible representations of them around you.
You lost me.
Okay. The long story short is that Libra wants it to look good and sound good and be fair.
Right.
Taurus wants it to actually feel good and not just be fair, but be valuable and give it like tangible comfort. Like a stacked bank account or comfy like shoes or like blanket. Yeah.
Currently, I'm not nailing that.
Okay, exactly. Well, you're growing into your sun sign. You're learning how to use it, and
All right, good. That's good news.
But what you come off as, or like what you learned how to assess the world through. Is it fair? Can we cooperate? Can I fill in? Doing things in partnership and stuff like that.
Okay, yeah.
But your moon in Sagittarius is like, I'm an adventurer. I just want to be out in like nature. I want to learn. I'm like, things need to be expansive. They need to be fun. They need to be like, it's weird because it can both be dogmatic and flippant at the same time.
That's kind of me, yeah.
Yeah, Sagittarius
I get that.
is the, I have all these things like written down, that you really want to have.
Which one made me gay?
Which one makes you gay?
Is that like Mars? Did Mars make me gay?
No, I believe it's your, what's that called? Is this you? Yeah, it is. It's your Venus and Venus and Gemini. I was just talking about, remember?
He's Venus and Gemini?
Yes, also.
Me too.
I was saying, I was like, everyone that I know.
You got to tell your family something.
Well, I say that all my Gemini Venuses, they're all at least bisexual. I'm not even joking. Whether they act on it or not. And then my Aquarian Venus is also at least bisexual if they don't act on it or not.
Word. So it's not a gene. It's all about Venus.
It's both and. You chose all of it. And it literally is both and because Gemini is, the twins, and it's mercurial.
I feel like you're looking at me when you say that with like disgust.
It's going both ways.
Yeah.
All that kind of stuff. So in terms of the terms of the operating system, analogy, I don't know. I'm gonna say that like having the Taurus Sun is like Windows 7 and Libra, or maybe like the Libra ascendant is like having Windows 7. Taurus Sun is like being Windows 8. But what actually drives you feels like Windows Vista compared to the rest of it, because they seem to like not be in agreement about any of them, but they're like, but we're all here together. So
okay. So what you're saying is I have conflicting personality axioms.
You have conflicting personality activity or intersection, but the main thing is that your sun and your ascendant are both Venus ruled.
Gay.
And then Venus happens to be in Gemini, which we just discussed at the minimum goes both ways.
Word. Oh yeah, that's really all I wanted out of this. I wanted to know who to blame.
You
Blame yourself, Devon. I think that's the overwhelming
Spirit Devon.
Spirit Devon.
Spirit Devon says, take it easy. Okay, so the other thing that I think is also really, this is really fun. Your ascendant is in Libra, which is all about cooperation. And people are like, oh, you're fair and you're, you're going to be easy to collaborate with and all this kind of stuff.
Sure.
Your Mars is in Scorpio and it's in your first house. No. So I wrote down, because like how I told you, I like to have.
Can we slow down? What does first house mean?
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
For all intents
You heard
and
it here
purposes.
first, everybody.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Game of Thrones shit doesn't matter.
Okay, so having this, what did I say? Scorpio Mars. I wrote covertly militant nature.
Okay, yeah,
Okay.
sure.
I can confirm this.
Right? Because
I'm down to conquer some shit.
yeah,
I get that.
and then having Mercury Aries, I wrote aggressive first person narrative.
Okay.
So it's funny because
Malignant gay narcissist. That's where we're at so far.
I can make, this gets even better. Then you get to project onto the other that they're the ones that's actually super argumentative, me first, brash.
Wait,
and
where does the projection come from?
onto this across from I am is the we are. So
Wait, you lost me too. So can we go back a little bit?
yeah, so the descendant. I should probably give you a visual.
Can
of
I ask
this
you a
too.
question?
Yeah.
What are the right, I don't even know, what are the right questions to ask? I feel like I'm bouncing you all over the
What
place.
do you want to know?
Well, let me start that. What do you know? How much, what can you tell me about myself? Okay, so I gave you my information.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell me everything about my personality. How accurately?
I can I can't tell you how it ends up expressing itself in your life, but I can tell you where it's coming from and or what may have conditioned it.
Okay, here's a fun question. What's the worst part of my personality? Is it this Scorpio in the first house of Mars?
Oh, not at all.
So subjective, though.
Yeah, but based
in
on
terms
her
of worst,
subjectivity.
I actually love when people ask me subjective questions because my moon and Mercury are in Cancer and they're conjunct each other. So I'm like, yeah, let me tell you what the overall vibe is.
I was
And
just thinking that about you, yeah.
yeah, I was like,
Your moon is conjunctive in Cancer, exactly.
yes, it's conjunctive. That is
We have a cream for that now.
Conjunctivitis.
Sacredcomedy.com.
Yes, I love that. Good plug. Okay, wait, I just lost my. I would say that the most annoying / frustrating thing about you or about being you or whatever. What
Ooh,
was the
those are
question
two.
again?
No. I want to know. Okay, so now two.
What's the worst thing about your personality?
What's the worst part about me from somebody else? If you're sitting across from me, what am I doing that's just not the vibes? And then what's the worst part about being me? Those are two questions.
I can't say what the worst part is about being you,
Because
but
there's so many bad ones.
I will say, okay,
Yeah.
listen, you have your sun. Okay, I'm not going to repeat what it is that's causing this. I'm going to say that you learn a lot about yourself and what it means and who you are, okay, separate from other people through relationship. Long-term committed relationship. It can be
Oh God.
okay. It can be a partner relationship. So they're long-term. You're committed to it, whether it's through like a romantic relationship or with a partnership, like a coworker or a boss, an institution, something that is long-term.
Roommates.
Yeah, roommates. Something that is long-term. You get a lot of time.
Mailmen.
I don't know. I feel like
I'm
the U.S.
gonna
Postal
double down on
Service
that.
is all over the place. I don't know what their turnover is like, but it seems high, at least out in my neighborhood.
Nah, dude. Me and Steve have been together for 15 years.
Okay, so you learn so much about yourself through relationship. It's essential, and it actually is a place where it not only activates it, but it's where it's easily and most powerfully expressed.
Okay.
However, and this is something that happens your entire life, but because of this, there can also grow a dependence on being in relationship in order to experience and express the self. So it takes time and a bunch of different kinds of long-term relationship and just experiences relating to other people to be able to separate the knowledge that I gain from about the self from being in relationship versus I have to be in a relationship to learn about myself.
Okay. How is this different from other people, by the way? Don't we all test our mind off of other people?
We do test our mind off of other people, but it's not operating off of like not everyone's sun, not everyone's life force energy is in the 7th house of partnership. You know what I'm saying? So
What's
That's
significant
true, yeah.
about the 7th house?
the 7th house rules a partnership.
Oh,
it's
okay,
like when
okay.
two I ams, when two, sovereign, separate individuals come into partnership. Now it's a we are.
Right. You kind of get an Israel-Palestine situation.
He was just waiting to drop that one in. How can we turn this?
We can edit that out. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
Interesting.
You didn't say anything about it.
I just said
that
you
it was
said
a
two sovereign
situation.
states, and I was like, I can't not make this joke.
I know, but
I can't not make this joke.
Aren't there? The whole thing is that there's an argument about whether either one has sovereignty. Well, there's one in particular, and that's like. But anyway,
Let's not. I'm so sorry.
So let's soft focus from the what's going on.
The China-Taiwan situation.
So again, these questioning.
He's just bouncing off.
But you know what's really interesting that you say that is you looking at other relationships and whether there's like questions of self-sovereignty that actually gives you quite a bit of information about your own self-sovereignty and how people operate in relationships.
Like he does that typically.
That's what you just did.
That's part of.
Listen to. Let's see where this just went. So your sun and your ascendant, how you see the world, are both Venus focused. Okay, Venus is in the 9th house of foreign, foreign concepts, foreign countries.
Cool.
Foreign. You can even say policies, philosophies, religion, laws, all that kind of stuff.
What was your major in college? Wasn't it like
Political
political
science.
science?
Yeah. And so you being like, okay, I'm trying to give you what it means to have your sun in the 7th house and why this could be an issue, because there can be a conflation of in order to learn more about myself, I'm dependent on the other.
So you're saying I use people in order to learn about myself?
Not.
Or I literally physically can't do it any other way. It's just like a consequence of me being me.
I'm just saying that for long-term committed relationship is of added importance and significance for you.
Okay.
However, this also ability to go into maybe like explore how it's done in foreign countries or even like navigate, there's a certain limitation of when I'm thinking of UI relationships. So why don't we think of my country and your country or these two countries, like being able to see it objectively for yourself in a foreign context or in a context of, two philosophies, what do they have in common? What do they not? What does this philosophy learn from that philosophy? You have like kind of like an amazing, and
Brain? I was just thinking that, yeah.
An amazing brain. It's very active. It's very restless. You should be doing everything that you possibly can to, I would say, write every day or communicate every day. You would be a perfect person to just,
Be a stand-up comic.
Yeah.
If you work hard enough at it, Devon.
Yeah. No, writing every
Thanks,
day,
Mom.
communicating it every day is, and I would also say that one of the most difficult things about your chart is the fact that your moon and your Venus are opposite each other.
Gay.
So
Every time you say Venus, I have to say gay. I'm sorry.
okay. Wow. Really interesting.
Is that on his chart too?
How am I doing compared to the other guests? Is this what other guests did? Did other guests
This
actively
is
try to
very
ruin it?
dynamic. I
This is
love it.
extremely
Okay, good.
dynamic.
I'm doing okay though. This is like a fine thing.
Guys, what do you think? Write to us.
Okay,
Let us know.
Also, yeah, just having Jupiter.
I think you're doing great.
I think you're
Devon.
doing great.
Yeah.
I think
Dope.
you're really crushing it. Actually, today, because I also did the transits. I'm not going to say what day it is because I effed it up on the last one. But today, in particular, you have Venus on the same place as your natal Mars, and so.
How many
Not
terms
gay.
are there?
There are so many terms. It's indifferent. I wish I could communicate more astrology without actually going back to what it is. But I'm like constantly like teaching while like
Right. This is like if I
whatevering.
was talking to a physicist. Like
Yeah.
I need you to like pause at everything and like
sometimes
actually
I do
explain
feel
to me
like
the concept.
Oppenheimer. I haven't seen the movie, but someone was like, "Oh my gosh, Oppenheimer!" That like whole like feeling isolated. You can only communicate all the the thoughts that take up most of the brain space in your mind, and you can only communicate it to like 4 other people that are currently in existence. That's how I feel
brutal.
all the time. That's how I feel all the time. You, on the other hand, the only like you're willing and ready to express everything as it comes to you and hear it as it comes to you.
It's a real problem.
And it's only a problem if you
are in front of a microphone.
And we're seeing everything demonstrate like right here.
Or it's only a problem if you aren't, if it's not turned into something like tangible. Am I not making something concrete about this or exploring new territory with this? If either of those boxes, if neither of those boxes are checked, you're like, God damn it, why do I just have this speeding mind that keeps me up at night and blah, 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 and this is bullshit. But once you get into a practice or a, say a flow of maybe writing and performing every day, or I write this for me and take this out here. I use technology. There's a highlight of like technology plus personality, plus perspective, plus knowing how to make things pretty, making things aesthetically pleasing, knowing how to balance, people and content and ideas.
Queer Eye.
Oh yeah, perfect. Oh my gosh, where is that? Why?
I think it's like Queer Eye for comedy productions stories.
Yeah, no, yeah. Queer Eye for the boom guy.
Yeah, Queer Eye for the boom guy. So there's a lot of that super highlighted, including the fact your 5th house starts in Aquarius.
Can we go through the houses? How many houses? We don't have to like go super. How many houses
12
are
of
there?
them.
There's 12. Is it
And-
every month? Is that like a month?
Well, the house system is a little. That's like what the zodiac, the actual signs are.
Right.
And and inside of the zodiac, we have this house system, which is a way of dividing the space into some.
So it's like parts of
like
physical
regions.
space.
Yeah, it's like regions.
Yeah,
of
so
the,
in any
Okay,
case,
so we're surrounded by a circle, and this is the pie slices of the circle.
right.
Okay,
So
I
if you
got
want
it.
to see, if you want to actually see, so the inner
Oh,
circle
wow.
is the house system, and the outer circle you can see the different glyphs that are the constellations.
Right.
And the easiest way for me to describe the houses is that they describe external life experiences in order for to be like a theater or what do you call that? A venue for the different expressions, these archetypal expressions of the signs to exist.
Am I crazy? This looks like someone's trying to sell me a timeshare in Egypt. Like this.
I love this for you because I feel like you just like saw through space and time to be like, this was how we used to sell timeshares in ancient Egypt.
That is kind of
exactly.
Okay,
Are you just getting a
so
Palladian download right now?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm just bullshitting.
can I? Okay. So like, which of the like?
I don't think you're going to be able to make sense of it.
Yeah, I really can't at all. Like, what is
there's
this
a
telling
lot
me?
on
So I
there.
just wanted to show you. So the first house, which also the first house starts on the left
It's
side.
like the wheel. It's the
Oh, yeah,
outside
yeah,
of the
I
wheel.
see
The left side of the
one.
page where there's the one. And so that
I don't want to. It's got the little like man thing. Is that gay? Is
Well,
that where
that-
the gay comes from?
well, the
To go back to
access
make it full circle.
that I don't know which man thing you're talking about.
That's a little
Mars.
symbol for man, right?
Mars.
Yeah, so your masculine energy is front and center. It is part of your personality. So that's actually probably where you also, and it's in a different sign than Libra. So whereas like you're looking for the fairness and the balance in the world, you in your identity, your how you assert your identity, okay, is through a hyper masculine nature that is in a feminine sign that is still ruled by Mars.
That's why you like frat boys.
Oh, how do we fix that? What do we do about that? Is there like astrology therapy? Can I take pills? Can I take crystal pills?
What about liking frat boys? First off, you like frat boys because they're in college.
The type of man, like
What
as
type of
opposed
man
to
do
like
you like?
Like a
effeminate-
frat guy, like genuinely,
masculine
like I'm
type.
into like the step, like the problem that. Like I'm
I
into like
love
a
how you
little
just
bit of
put
like
that.
a toxic
I feel like
kind
I need
of.
to let my hair down for this one. I feel like we're gonna get really
Devon
juicy
has a
into this
great
one.
bit about showing gay or showing as gay.
Oh,
for
like my
yourself.
bit about myself?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm like not like it's barely like the one about like which one?
The Reddit one.
Oh, my voice. Yeah, it's like my voice. Like I don't present gay. I present like I know a lot about crocodiles. You know, like I'm
Hilarious.
not. My voice doesn't scream boyfriend. It kind of lisps dungeon master. You know, there's not no gay in there, but it's a lot of Reddit. That's like the bit.
I'm looking at you. I'm waiting for you to laugh like I'm his proud mother. I mean, the thing is I remember I had a conversation with you, and I was saying like when you were working at the shows, I was like, we got a lot of girls coming by, and you were like, you are barking up the wrong tree, sister.
Yeah, dude. I was like, I know, but it's not useful at all. I'm
You're
like a
I
waste.
think I need to tell you that I'm not straight.
Yeah, because that was one of her pitches. She's like, I can't pay you, but you're gonna get so much like
Exposure to women.
Yeah.
We'll
And
make
you
it.
were
I was gonna say Hoboken trim. That was gonna be what I called it, but yes.
Wow.
I'm kidding, by the way. I'm not a bad person.
Not a bad person. No, I wouldn't say that you're a bad person at all.
It's complicated.
Yes, you are complicated. You are actually extremely complicated, but it's for
Best kind of people.
It's for a good reason. In terms of love and whatever energy. Oh my gosh, this is like so. In terms of like places to find people,
I would love that.
and people that I'm higher education. That's why I was laughing about frat boy. Okay, and okay, yeah.
My astrology says I like higher education.
Higher education, comedy, law, and foreign places. So while traveling, and especially in foreign places.
Okay. I'm gonna go get a comedian at Oxford.
Good luck with that. Find me one too. Preferably one that's into chicks, you know. If you could find me one.
Dude,
also.
we could split a buy one.
Ooh, split a buy one.
Buy John Oliver?
I am so not
Are you
No.
I was John
like-
Oliver. Oh, is that just because of Oxford?
Oxford. I don't know. I pulled out a British comedian.
There's got to be another person that went to Oxford. Like, first off, that guy's married. Secondly, I can't. I know.
He's funny though.
Yeah. So
You heard it here first, folks. None of us would fuck John Oliver. Not a single one of us.
what we're saying is there has got to be more Oxford alums that I would find more fuckable than John Oliver. No offense, John Oliver. I fucking love you. I fucking love you. Thank you for your service.
Best John Oliver tangent.
I'm
ever.
so sorry, John Oliver. Okay, I think John Oliver is great.
Wait, so can we go back to the astrology gives you when I was born and where tells you where I'm going to find a prospective partner?
It's
that specific?
It's likely, and it's a likely place for you to find a partner, or yeah.
In academia.
Okay, well I already graduate college, so that's a bummer.
Well, I mean, you can
It's a
always
bit of a bummer.
So
Master's degrees.
Yeah, because totally.
So the ninth house rules all things expansive thought. It's where we think. Okay, we think evolves into what I think, and like by I think I mean I think, I learn, I write down, I transmit this information to one person on the daily. It's kind of every day. You might think of it as like mundane thought, okay, and like just your process of thinking and learning. After you engage in that process of thinking and learning, and you do that with others, all of a sudden these kind of daily insights and communications get communicated with each other, and they become we believes. They become these larger tenets. They become expansive thought, systems of thought, whether they be religious or philosophical or educational.
Mm-hmm.
And then the ninth house rules all these institutions that those are. So religion, religious places, universities, places of,
Can you guess what religion I am?
No.
All right.
Does it say it on his chart?
No.
There's actually, it looks like a Jewish star. I'm just kidding.
It
doesn't.
It doesn't.
There's got to be someone has to have a chart that looks like a Jewish star.
But what you think and what you learned definitely seemed like in terms of early education, definitely could be tied to religion. I don't know if you ended up going to a private school or whatever. If you went to yeshiva or something like that.
Nope.
Did your mom want to enforce that kind of stuff?
No, we're actually not religious at all. Like I'm not like really anything. I was just curious. I was curious like what information that stuff gives you about me. Because it seems like kind of open-ended, but then it like super zooms in sometimes.
Well, It's
Feels like
just,
you're
you're
lying
very
to me.
informed by your thinking process is informed by your expansive like thought process X, Y, and Z. But actually, it's really
Does that make sense to you?
I
'Cause
did not. I'm not gonna lie to you. The last thing you just said, I heard expansive, and then I did not hear the rest.
Spaced out.
Anyway,
It wasn't- I just
your moon is constantly seeking answers. Okay, emotionally, you want answers. They don't need to be emotional. They need to just be inspirational and lead to more like better questions with bigger answers.
I feel like this is very true about you. Just the nature of our friendship, how it started. You were just very curious about
Yeah, I
the
love
world of
asking people what they think.
spirituality, and yeah, you're extremely. What's his Sagittarius? What is he? Sagittarius?
Well, I was just saying that his moon is in Sagittarius. Your thought process, your way of communicating. This is so you asked the worst thing about you. Again, I'm just gonna
Coming back to the
I'm
worst
gonna go
thing.
back. I'm gonna go back to the worst thing about you in terms of like both like
Is communicating
yes.
the thing I want to do for a living?
Yes. Yeah.
No.
It is absolutely the worst fucking no. I mean, it's not the worst. It just is exactly opposite of how you see the world and how the world sees you. So they think they're gonna get a very cooperative, here to make this look the best, feel the best, be the fairest. Maybe we're gonna borderline on superficial because the easiest way to balance things is to make sure we know that we're just working with the stuff that's above the table.
Sure.
And then we know how to make it into a lovely tableau, okay? Or, because we're not going into the deeper stuff. However, your whole thing is being mercurial about expansive thought processes, and someone's just asking where the bathroom is, and you're like, "Well, what's your religious background?" And you're like, what is, have you ever left the country, or why is, like, I don't know, yeah.
You're saying I'm like a
what
toddler.
does that sound like to you? Like, can you think of any instances in your life where that kind of like rings true?
I don't know. I definitely like find myself in here's what I definitely in conversations a lot. I have to be like, by the way, we don't have to talk about this if it makes you uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
I say that a lot because I have got a little bit of like, I don't know if it's like I'm a little bit on the spectrum where it's like I don't like having fake conversations. So I like asking people about stuff that I'm interested about them. But sometimes, yeah, that'll make it like people don't want to talk about that.
You know why else you say that? Because things will eventually venture into a place where you don't feel uncomfortable. Because one thing, so Sagittarius Moon, they want information and experiences that are adventurous and, help you just attain knowledge in a grand scale, big picture stuff, but also they don't tolerate overly emotional. Okay. They don't like emotions. It's like kind of like, doesn't kind of get in the way of knowledge, like you're.
Yeah, I'm a little bit. Yeah, sure.
And then also it's very enthusiastic and what do you call that? Optimistic sign. And so when things start to venture into the negative, all of a sudden, because Sagittarius doesn't really do well about processing its own negative self, stuff that it feels negatively about itself.
Right.
It is going to immediately be like, I don't feel comfortable with these things. But instead of saying it, I'm going to be like, feel free to not talk about anything you're not comfortable with. So that I also don't
project it out.
So that way I don't have to talk about anything that I'm not comfortable with,
Oh, interesting.
And it usually has to do around stuff that.
So you're saying I'm a drippy, hypocritical bitch.
Well, I think it's more that, it's like when you're
I'm just trying to make you laugh.
when you're enthusiastic about things, it's like no holds bar. We can literally be talking about hell. We could literally be talking about
Devon
killing
is
babies.
so much
You know what
fun.
I'm saying? There's like kind of like, as long as there's like enthusiasm and like, there's something like, there's something there, there's something out there, there's something more to like search. And the second it comes to something that's like
sad and boring.
You're like,
You put a wall up.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
and it
I'm only seeing that.
and some people be like,
we've had conversations.
some
like
people might be like, oh, is it something that I said, or whatever, and you kind of aren't even aware exactly what it is. You're already moving on to the next adventure, so you're not really one to like self-reflect and
God, this person sounds terrible to be around.
and so maybe
Not true.
if you want to maybe you should just like throw out there, be like, instead of being like, oh, I'm kind of on the spectrum, it's like, hey, by the way, it's not you, it's me. You could just start every conversation with that,
It's
and
not
then
you, it's
let
me.
people build their own definition or boundaries around that.
Can I just say something
premise.
about spectrum? We're all on a spectrum.
we're 100%.
Look at this.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
a spectrum. Everything is a Everything is a spectrum.
See, I don't like this.
We're at different points.
I almost like to say that it's not a spectrum; it's a circle.
It's
and to me,
legit.
I was gonna say that's not a spectrum. That's what saves the Avengers at the end.
I feel like
That's like a circle with
my
like-
problem with the word spectrum is the fact that I think I see it as a linear something. It's been
Oh, yeah,
presented to
because-
me as
yeah.
a linear something where I'm like, actually, we're on a
Everyone's
spectrum.
is
yeah.
actually on a spectrum. That's the thing.
Oh my god, it's getting very meta in here. Like,
It's giving meta, and I love that
it's
for
getting
us.
so meta, and I
Not
can't
us
even.
getting meta about the spectrum.
But what's really fucking fantastic, I'm gonna say, is that you have a lot of luck when you lean into. I'm just going to do it myself. I'm going to do it how I see fit and whatever. And oftentimes you get that encouragement from the partner or the partnerships that you have, come hell or high water. Maybe it's that person being encouraging to don't ask for my opinion or don't ask for how I should do it, how you should do it. Just do it. Sometimes it's I was interfacing with this person or in this environment or at this job that made me feel like, God damn it, I don't want to ask permission. You know, it's easier to do first and apologize later. And like things that kind of give you that information, whether, again, it was in a supportive way or a combative way, you actually create a lot of luck for yourself, a lot of opportunity for yourself
Okay.
when you lean into just I'm just going to be unapologetically me.
Can you think of any?
Not really. Like, I'm not
instances?
sure if what you do, like, at least consciously, like, I'm not sure if what you, like, I didn't know. That didn't map onto my perception of myself very well. That doesn't mean it's not true. Like, I feel like
He's
in
doing it.
when I do partnerships, what I tend to do is I tend to be, like, pretty hyper communicative because I like to, like, explain to people where I'm at. I do actually tend to, like, the way I grew up was, like, when me and my dad do things together, it's always, like, ask as many questions as you have to. Like, we could sit here for an hour until you understand, but don't do anything without asking me because I have a picture in my head about how this is going to get done. So I tend to operate like that.
Because you have a picture of how it's going to get
No,
done?
because he does, and he's in charge. I asked the person in charge, like, I mean, like, I've worked for you and I've worked for the George, the producer. Like, I think I'm kind of like that, right? Yeah.
But it's funny because you're looking.
George, everybody. George.
Woo!
Sorry.
But you're
if everybody
looking
thought this was just
for-
a hang
you're-
that
it's
someone
like-
turned on an iPhone for.
It's like you're looking for information about how it gets done, but it just goes back to you. Oh, then again, your Mars is retrograde. That's, yeah.
Fuck. What does that mean? My Mars is in retrograde. What does the word retrograde mean? I've heard that a lot.
Retrograde is, I mean,
We're going to cover it again.
yeah, it's
Did we already talk about it? Did I forget what retrograde
No,
was in this conversation?
retrograde is important for to talk about. I mean, because
I have my Mars in retrograde also, and it's in the first house, so it's really annoying. What should be a power position actually ends up being a grading.
Wait, but I'm sorry. What does retrograde mean?
I mean,
moving
do you want to talk in terms of astrology or astronomy?
Well, both.
Because they are two sides of the same coin. A retrograde
scientists
a
might take issue
retrograde
with
is
this.
when something is when a planet is so close to our planet that it appears to be going backwards. Just like when when a slight deceleration of two cars traveling together, just a slight deceleration,
it's not actually going backwards.
Not actually going
but it
backwards.
Like if I was
appears that
looking
way
at it
to
at a
us.
telescope, it
Yeah.
looked like it's going backwards.
That's why humans have created
it
that
appears
system.
to because of its speed and our speed, and when it comes closer, you get to actually see the disparity.
So it's like an
these-
optical illusion
These
almost.
are
It is an
I
op-
mean,
it
these
is an
are heavy gravitational pulls from these planets around us that are
Right.
affecting us in this way.
So in astrology, what we mean is instead of when a planet is going in forward motion, it is covering new ground. It is progressing on, through a sign, through its cycle, in a quasi. I don't mean linear as in it's linear, but it's forward moving. When it's retrogrades, it means that it has gone as far as it can go with whatever energy it is. In terms of Mars is our own ego, like energy, activity.
I thought the moon was ego.
No, that's your inner subconscious self. The sun is also, the main thing is when Mars is retrograde, first off, Mars as a man means that my whatever of masculinity, my idea, my concept of masculinity, and then how I enact it in the world externally, under review. Okay. It is under review. It is not just cut and dry, forward moving as the way that the world, the society that I'm born into, has its like notions. So you immediately can't just go off on a linear nature and know that and feel that it's you're still being like having your own integrity. You know?
Okay.
Your masculinity becomes a much more individualized expression. You know, you have much more individualized definition of it. Takes longer to cultivate it and then longer to express it externally.
Do you put this, like, so you feel like, do you actively cultivate your masculine sense of identity?
Well,
is that something you put thought into in your day?
I talk about how my masculinity as a female has always been like front and center, and I can't be attracted to or feel first off any kind of something that's like, oh, I'm masculine, therefore I have authority. I'm like, tell me more. Like, tell me more. I will give you enough rope to hang yourself with. Don't worry. Keep talking. You know? But then I also had to soft focus and be like, oh, I have all these really amazing feminine traits. I feel very balanced, masculine and feminine, and I don't apologize for it, even if it means that, you know, I'm like, so you thought I was, you know, I don't know. It's my own brand of whatever. You have your own brand of masculinity. That is a huge part of how you interface with the world and how the world sees you.
Okay.
It's also in the sign of Scorpio, which is traditionally ruled by Mars. This puts like such an emphasis on, self-authority and power struggles. Honestly, how personal do you want to get? It's not even like personal. It's more like Scorpio's iteration or like whatever of Mars energy is much deeper. It is like, it's not just, you know.
Wait, I'm sorry. My Mars is in Scorpio?
Yeah, your Mars is in Scorpio. And so
so
Scorpio
it's like
is a little
deeper. What does that mean?
Scorpio's like hidden.
It's deeper and it's like beneath. It's beneath the surface.
It's like goth.
Scorpio's goth or I'm goth? Like you lost me again. Like
Scorpio is goth. So what I mean by Aries is also ruled by Mars, and Aries is the classic externalized brute force kind of, you know, I want it, I go get it, you know, whoever has the biggest club or, you know, just carry a bigger stick, like kind of something. Mm-hmm. Scorpio is actually the soul's will. Okay. So it's the same will, but it's like on a much deeper level. And that means that instead of just being like, no, I'm just going to obviously, you know, grow some Popeye arms and just intimidate people. Like Scorpio's like, I'm going to intimidate.
So what you're saying is it's gay.
It's much more secretive. It's much more penetrating.
Gay.
It's gay. It's pretty gay.
Okay, so my Mars is gay. Got it.
Your Mars.
My Venus is gay. My Mars is gay.
Your Mars might be the most gay part of this entire thing.
Okay.
I'm sorry, but all I'm hearing is clips.
Yeah.
We're gonna do a quick edit of like gay.
All I'm hearing is like your masculine energy.
This podcast is unusable. You have to blur out every third
your
thing I say.
Masculine energy, your
totally
true
usable.
nature of your masculine energy is like not only hidden from other people initially, but also yourself.
I do feel like I'm not like I have a weird time because it's like I'm kind of like in this weird, like I'm kind of masculine, but also like I do have like feminine, like whatever you'd call it, mannerisms, impulses, whatever. And yeah, that is like it depends on, like I code switch depending on who I'm talking to and stuff like that. Like I am like a weird little like gay.
Yeah.
Like,
and that's code switching is a perfect way to express that, because, you know, it's like the masculine is in a feminine sign, and it's also, it has to work internally before it's expressed externally. But when it comes to what you value and like how you express what you value and you know, stuff like that, it's Gemini. It's whatever it wants to be. It's whatever twin is active at the time. You know, like,
So there isn't an answer. It's both.
what I'm saying is that they it's kind of wide, but the interface between your masculine and feminine qualities is a vexing one and a complex one. It's not one that is easily supporting the other. Instead, they're like, we got to find a common ground, and that common ground might be situational. Like it might change depending on what situation or what person I'm interacting with.
Okay.
The only thing
Sure.
that makes it consistently accessible is that it has to support who I am in the moment. And it has to support what I think is valuable in terms of a philosophy, including things like comedy, because comedy is even built on we believes, right?
Totally.
This is where I think comedy went horribly off the rails during quarantine, is that no one knows what to believe, and therefore we don't know what's off limits.
Yeah.
What is something that we can laugh at right now? And that's when it gets ugly, you know? And people are just like going back and forth between, should I just do some old hack material, or, you know, how do I make you know, Zoom call full of a Zoom room full of people with their fucking assholes clenched, you know, that this is, you know, that we'll find the funny again. It's a hard road. But if there's someone who's willing to code switch all the way until we find that common denominator and then expand on it, it's you, sir.
Okay. That's true. I will lie to whoever pays me money.
There you go.
100%.
Get some.
Give me an audience. I'll be whatever you need from me.
Interestingly enough, his north node,
No,
which
I'm
is
kidding.
where you need to go towards, is becoming more of your own, is becoming the star and the king of
What's
your
his
own
north
kingdom
node?
is Leo.
I'm sorry. My what?
Your
Okay.
north node is in Leo.
North
Nodes
note?
are, and I said this in our last episode, but the north node is the direction that your soul is going into. It's the energy that your soul is trying to go towards.
Okay.
And then the south node is where your soul just came from. So you're accessing and integrating Leo energy. That's going to be a part of your purpose in a way.
Wait,
and
so-
Leo is like, here I am. Leo.
Yeah.
I'm a little confused. So south is where you start out. North is where you're going.
Yeah. In a soul journey way.
So I'm starting at Leo and going towards.
No,
You're
You're
Taurus?
starting at
starting at
Aquarius, which is the
Aquarius.
opposite side of Leo.
I'm starting at so this is the first time I've heard the word Aquarius
Yeah.
so far. Where did that come from?
the age of the Aquarius,
No, but
the water bear.
and he's
No, but
moving
like-
out of it.
what is
Moving
that
out
like?
of it. So basically, in terms of the nodal axis, you have spent many a lifetime being the weirdo, being the one-off.
You.
Being the you've spent
Beat the
many
shit.
a lifetime knowing what it's like to be the utmost individual and a humanitarian and just being like I come bearing gifts of like messages from the future, and I'm gonna give them to you, and then I'm gonna fuck off. And I hope you take this knowledge and you remember to do what makes your heart sing. But
That's where he's coming from.
Yeah,
What
that's where you're
about
coming from.
where did you get that information from? That thing you just said. Where does that come from?
That comes from your nodal axis.
But what is that determined by? So like I told you, and I'm not asking to be combative. I'm like genuinely curious. So I told you what day I was born, what year, and where. How did that? Like how did that happen then?
Well, you have your south node in the fourth house in the sign of Aquarius, based on the house system that I was using.
Physically, what is the south node? Like, what's the
Physically, the south node is where the plane of the moon, of like the moon's orbit.
Is flat Earth part of this? That would be news to me.
It's not. In fact, it's probably some of the craziest information against flat Earth as far as I am concerned. Like,
Okay.
I think that whether you're talking about astrology or you're talking about Pythagoras's whatever sound, like something sounds of the spheres and stuff like that, like the spheres that we see also have their own vibrational resonance, and so they're all at their same frequency. And like, yeah, it's the whole situation. I know. Go back and check out Pythagoras. He was a real ass dude. But the most important thing is,
all I know is he had a theorem.
Yeah, he had a theorem.
That's the closest I can get to.
But yeah, the main thing is that being a real individual and kind of being like the odd one out at home, or being from a tribe of like people that are individuals and maybe not have a lot of like, I don't know.
My parents are loners. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, so going from loner that has that spark of, that God spark in them. We all have God spark in them. But like just making stuff and expressing stuff from the heart for nothing more than self-gratification, but also to remind other people that's what we're here to do. We're not here to work from someone else. We're not here to do whatever. We're here to do what makes our heart sing and hold space and whatever for each and every person to be their own flavor of human being. That's all great. You've done a lot of that work in the past. Okay. That's very easy for you. Now what's harder to do is take that knowledge and build in the exact opposite direction, which is I'm going to be very front and center in my public life.
This is Leo.
This is Leo. And Leo is like, I'm going to do what makes my heart sing, and I'm going to garner an audience. I'm going to be seen doing what I love to do because it makes my heart sing. And to have a call and response with an audience.
It's the theater kid.
Yeah, it's a theater kid. You need
But that's where I was.
No, that's where you're going.
That's where you're going.
Being on stage is a great.
You went from the theater kid, like the odd person, like weirdo, to the prima donna, to the late night television person.
Okay, so I went from the intern to the Ellen.
I like that access. That access.
You're saying that I went from like you're saying I went from like a creative goofball to someone that actually now wants to succeed.
Yeah, to be seen and recognized for it, as opposed to just doing it and then.
Is that kind of like Malignant though? If it's like about fame and stuff.
It's not
if it's
necessarily
about recognition.
About fame. It's about acknowledging that you kind of have to
have an audience.
Yeah.
It's important for you to be on a stage in a spotlight.
The way you both looked at me, it feels like this is an intervention.
It is, damn it.
You belong on that stage.
You can't just keep writing jokes and being a fucking weirdo in a vacuum.
Yeah.
It's not.
You're meant to be out there.
This time,
your energy wants to go.
It worked the past few times. And now you're here also to find out where this like visionary experience and this visionary mindset, where it intersects with what's valuable to people as a whole, what gets an audience. You know what I'm saying? And so giving yourself a lot of permission to do that, which is really fun with a super combative Mercury in Aries, right? I also like to think, this would actually be really great because you're a comic. I used to describe the axis. Okay, so this is I am versus we are. And this is like your private most self, and this is your public most self.
Okay.
And I used to say like, this is what we think we are. This is how we think people are perceiving us. This is how we're often perceived. Okay.
Right.
This is how we are at home.
Speaking of being perceived,
what
you
is
guys
that?
should
What is
watch
it?
the video so you can see the chart that Elise is holding up.
Well, we could say what the signs are, right? Like, I don't know what those mean, but they have names, right? Like, but it's that weird red squiggly thing.
You know what I just want to say in terms of what I've learned in terms of doing a bunch of I used to do a podcast where we just did the natal charts of comics, and then we would listen to their a 10-minute set or something like that, and then relate the material back to what we saw. So what's funny is yes, this most public persona is which is identified as Cancer. Okay, you have the sign of Cancer.
I am a Cancer on society, totally.
You have a Cancer 10th house. So you can be seen in your most public life as being nurturing, okay? But the way that you interact with your crowd, super abrasive. I mean, like super attacking, combative.
Sure.
Okay. But the way that you're seen like in general like life is the opposite of this. I like to be combative and very, I am towards my audience. in my everyday life, I'm actually looking for harmony, ways to cooperate, ways to make this negotiation feel fair and go smoothly and look nice for everyone. What's also funny is that your most private self builds the foundation for us to come into our most public self. So coming from a maybe very structured or serious
What is the
home
sign for my most private self?
is Capricorn.
Okay.
So I don't know if there was a lot of authoritarian hierarchy at home, if there's a lot of stoicness at home.
A little bit.
But whatever that is,
Little bit.
This is what I got from home. These are where my roots are planted. And I grow directly upward into the exact opposite of it. I appear on stage as being an emotionally receptive person because my roots are in the exact opposite of knowing what it's like to be from a tribe and a home life that is stoic and needs to be, being structurally sound is more important than being emotionally received. So now I come to you, my good friends, appearing extremely emotionally receptive, even if it's even if it's by way of having a very active and combative way of talking to people.
Okay. Can I ask you a question? How when you read because we met like one time before, but I was high on like being dumb.
Yeah.
How well did you guess, or not get, but like how do I put this? How well was your picture of me before you like started talking to me? Like, did you anticipate this conversation? I'm not even sure how this conversation is going.
Repeat the question. How
so like, I'm not sure how this conversation is going from your perspective, but how well did your impression of me from my chart match who I am or appear to be right now?
Like right now?
Yeah.
Well,
were you like, this guy's going to ask me a lot of questions and say gay a bunch?
Well, the gay was really surprising, even though when you were high and kind of like, will you do my chart right now? Blah, blah, blah. I'm not listening. I'm gay or something like that, like, no, did you say I'm gay? Did I say like, did it say I'm gay? And I completely forgot about that part too. Also,
yeah.
So when I was,
this conversation.
But what I do, it is being very exactly what I thought it would be, or who you are on here. Extremely
annoying.
No, it's more like, you're like constantly, seeking. You're constantly seeking. You're constantly seeking, but also your communication does not sound like it, even though it's asking you 1,000 questions a minute. Does that make sense?
So you're saying I'm asking, the form I'm talking in has question marks on it, but they don't seem like questions.
It's that your heart really does want the wisdom that hearing and having expansive conversations daily provide, but the way you communicate them makes you sound like an asshole. Do you know what an asshole is?
No.
An asshole is someone who asks you like how to do it or asks you all the questions. They're not waiting around for the answer.
Oh.
So they're an asshole.
Okay, so it seems like I'm asking questions and not really listening.
Yeah.
Okay. I've been trying to listen.
Because it's very intense. No, I think that you are listening, but the ferocity in which the outward engagement, like the question is asked, is like, I don't know, like, and because they're coming so quickly, you can't speak and hear like at the same time. I think you're doing a great job at all of these things. But what I'm saying is there's like a level of intensity.
No, I'm interested.
What? Yeah. So I think that's...
This is what we're essentially like analyzing me, right? That's like the purpose of this.
We're totally analyzing you. You also have indications of good
kissing.
Let me see here. Actually, first house. Oh, actually, Kiss is in reverse too. Did you know that there's an asteroid called Kiss?
No.
I saw Kiss on there.
Yeah, Kiss.
I didn't. That's not. Maybe that's.
It's in your first house.
What's my Kiss?
I actually don't know what. It's also in Scorpio. Interesting. Ooh, where's your Eros? Ooh. Wait. Oh, it's very hard.
This is gonna be our last.
Okay, our last thing.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Yes. Oh my gosh.
I'm terrified.
I'm also terrified. I'm terrified for all of us here. Wow. Okay, so your Eros is in Aries.
Okay. What does that mean?
in the seventh house also. And is it really close to your Mercury? It's pretty close to your Mercury, right? Am I going blind here? Eros, 28 and 24. Whoa. Oh my gosh, your mind, like, and your communication style is actually really close, or at least like can be mapped onto your erotic nature.
Okay. So you're saying
that is for you to confirm or not.
Yeah, that is for you to confirm or deny, but yeah.
But give me the like you're saying that I have sex the way I talk?
Yeah, it reminds me of that. Yeah, exactly. Thank you for bringing me up, because it just reminded me of my favorite movie, Hackers. And she's like, I hope you don't screw like you type.
Oh.
Okay. I'm a bottom. Does that tell you anything?
Let's see. Really? No code switching? And that
a little bit. I mean, am I going to say no? I mean, what am I going to say? No code switching? What am I going to say? No code switching?
Yeah, no. I like this for you, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Right.
I like this for you.
This is we're gonna end on that, because
my pussy's an asshole.
Oh God.
Your pussy's an asshole?
I'm just trying to. I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
I needed to say asshole again. That's all. That was my entire goal. That was my ask goal.
I think it's that, like,
we might have to continue this conversation off camera on the Patreon, but we are going to wrap it up.
Yeah.
And to be continued. And
yeah, dude, this is so much fun.
Anyone out there has questions about Devon's asshole,
oh my God,
ask away.
Make sure you get his Grindr profile.
So, Devon, where can we find you?
Devon Hall Comedy on Instagram. That's all that matters. I'll just plug that.
Perfect. And Elise, tell everybody where they can find you.
At Elise Anamkara on Instagram, Twitter. Please follow me on YouTube. It's Elise Edwards at Elise Anamkara. AnamkaraAstrology.com. And on SoundCloud for Discount Disco and DJ Joy.
Woo! You guys, thank you so much for this. This was dense. This was dense. I hope you guys enjoyed the ride.
Can I say just like one? I think the best way to just like button up that last statement, because I didn't go into Eros or Eros on the other thing. It might be that the best way to make you shut up in a relationship is just to be very aggressive and
to put a dick in my mouth
or your butt like that, and very aggressively. You have to come with the ferocity on the erotic level,
with ferocity
that will shut the mouth hole up. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Astrology can be very dirty and very funny.
Oh, it's wonderfully dirty.
We're so excited. We hope that this episode helped you understand. It definitely helped you understand Devon more. It helped you understand astrology, I hope. Please, you guys, this is a new show. It's a new effort. I would love for you to rate, review, and subscribe. Please find us at sacredcomedyshow.com, at Sacred Comedy on Instagram, at Sacred Comedy on TikTok. And so thank you for being here. Stay hydrated. And you only live many times.
Hope all of you accept Christ. Goodbye.
And drop the mic.
Good done.